Bangladesh's interim government has instructed the Bangladesh Cricket Board to seek a change of venue for the team's matches at the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2026, requesting that they be moved out of India. The decision was confirmed by Bangladesh's sports advisor, Asif Nazrul, who announced the development in a social media post. Nazrul said the interim government has directed the BCB to formally inform the International Cricket Council and propose Sri Lanka as an alternative venue for Bangladesh's matches in the tournament. The move, of course, comes in the wake of BCCI directing IPL's Kolkata Knight Riders franchise to drop Bangladesh pacer Mustafizur Rahman amidst reports of attacks on Hindu minorities in Bangladesh. Now the Bangladesh government is crying about purported security issues for its players as being behind its decision even while making no moves to protect its minorities. I have my guest joining me on the broadcast. I have Shekhar Vijayan, sports commentator and journalist, and Taus Rizvi, senior sports journalist. Now I want to go across to Shekhar first. Shekhar, how do you see this, and how do you see this? Do you think politics is being mixed with sports?
See, politics is being mixed with sports, but I think India also has taken a firm line here. High time India takes a firm stand against Bangladesh. What Bangladesh did was incorrect. What they did in terms of, committing atrocities against the Hindus in Bangladesh was not correct. And I think India, and with what KKR did in the IPL and with what India is doing right now is perfectly fine. And what Bangladesh did in response is quite wrong. India has to use its full might as a financial superpower in terms of cricket, because India has been helping Bangladesh for quite a long time. India is almost like an elder brother for Bangladesh. And I think India needs to be a little more assertive here and clearly let them know that atrocities committed against any minorities, not just Hindus, it could be Hindus, it could be Muslims, it could be Buddhist, or any minorities, is certainly not right. And the whole world is watching them. This is the best way I think India can respond, and India has done the right thing by just showing them that they cannot just get away with something as trivial as this, something as gruesome as this, which happened in Bangladesh.
Okay, I want to go across to Taus Rizvi now. Taus, now this, whatever has happened, how unprecedented is this move really in international cricket?
See, I think this is something, BCCI wasn't expecting this kind of outlash by the politicians or people out there. I mean, considering they would not have put the Mustafizur or any of the Bangladesh player in the auction. I mean, it's BCCI's fault. I mean, they could have ignored them, because this is not happening in the recent time. It's been happening for a long time. I mean, more than a year. So somewhere or the other, BCCI should have taken a stand and given, or else they could have at least asked the franchise to, considering we are a democracy and we believe, we are mother of democracy and we believe in democracy in a big way. And as far as BCCI or ICC is concerned, the whole cricketing community is like a family. I mean, yeah, there are differences. Obviously, there is politics involved, and we cannot avoid a lot of politics when it comes to Pakistan or maybe Bangladesh and things happening over there. But this situation could have been avoided. Now we have seen like this. Bangladesh found an opportunity. They found an opportunity to manipulate, to show the whatever kind of power they have. I mean, they are definitely members of the ICC and one of the most important members, even though they may not be great on field or when it comes to performances or results. But definitely they have some kind of shares, some kind of power, voting rights in International Cricket Council. Hence, they think they have the power. So somewhere or the other, I think it was BCCI's fault. They should have consulted with the government. What was the government doing? They should have, been in touch with the higher authorities. What could have happened? They have the people in power who are part of the administration of BCCI. I mean, at the end, you succumb to an MLA from somewhere in Delhi, succumb to the pressure of a guy who was giving speeches and rally. Otherwise, why? I mean, yeah, they could have taken a stand. They should have taken a stance of not having Bangladesh at all or any of the Bangladesh player. Now you can see exactly what's happened. They are trying to manipulate things. They don't want to take part, saying in the ICC World Cup, saying shift our matches to Sri Lanka. They're saying that there are security issues, which won't be any problem like how Pakistan has or maybe Bangladesh, because this is a secured country. But at the end, they are completely manipulating, I believe. And this was something BCCI. The ball was in BCCI's court. Now they have easily given it to the Bangladesh Cricket Board. Yeah, so they are just playing with us right now.
All right. I want to now go across to Dr. Suvro Kamal Datta, acclaimed international conservative expert, who's also joined me now on the broadcast. Dr. Suvro Kamal Datta, the question really is that, do you think this is a sporting decision, or is cricket once again becoming a casualty of politics?
Well, I think cricket was always politicized, and it was always politicized right from the beginning. So to say that it is a casualty of politics is something which would be too far an argument. Cricket has always been political, and especially the cricket in Indian subcontinent has always been political. I do agree that BCCI should not have allowed any Bangladeshi team player or any Bangladeshi cricketer to come into India in this kind of an atmosphere when the minority community in Bangladesh are getting, killed every day. Their houses are being plundered. Hindu women are being raped. And there is a kind of an ethnic cleansing and the genocide which is taking place under the terrorist organization led by Muhammad Yunus, which is the chief advisor of the interim government. And this has been happening the day Yunus took over as oath. Since that time, this kind of a cleansing is happening. So I think BCCI should have been intelligent enough not to invite them and not to take them into the IPL. I also held a lot of responsibility on Mr. Shah Rukh Khan. He should not have invited the Bangladeshi players for bidding, and he should have taken the national sentiments into concern, and he should have avoided. And even after the bidding was done, even as a late afterthought, also he could have asked the Bangladesh player to not to play into the IPL of the night. And I think the matter would have closed there. Having said this, now that things are boiling down to a further higher dimension and a higher level, I think government of Bharat has to take a serious call on this, and if needed, like the way we have banned Pakistan cricket team from playing here in India, or our cricket team doesn't go and play in Pakistan, if there is a requirement, we need to do that also in relation to Bangladesh. We cannot be any more soft, and we cannot show our big brother, like loving big brother kind of an attitude towards Bangladesh, and we cannot help them out in each and everything, right from sending them potatoes to oil to rice and whatnot. If that nation is so ungrateful, then I think we need to pay back in the same coin.
All right. Sunil Yash Kalra, cricket scholars, also joining me. Sunil, should governments be influencing venue decisions for tournaments, or does this undermine autonomy of sport?
First of all, I'd like to thank you guys. Second is, I've heard my esteemed panelists who spoke before me. I need to just clarify, is this a private tournament or is it run by Government of India? It's not run by Government of India, it's run by BCCI. Now, the entire hue and cry is about a Bangladeshi player playing for Shah Rukh Khan. What has Shah Rukh Khan got to do with it? I mean, just imagine, he doesn't even sit in the bidding process. You're dragging him because he's a soft target, which is all right, understood. But what about 2 days ago, I met Shakibul Hasan at Sharjah Cricket Ground playing for T20. No hue and cry was created for Shakibul Hasan, who's a Bangladeshi, who's a former captain, who was not a part of the thing, but he is playing for Mumbai Indians. Why didn't anybody say anything to the Mumbai Indians, or rather the owner of Mumbai Indians? No, because they will not say it, because they're not soft targets. In fact, they own channels and everything, and they laid back to anybody who says this. Point number two, Mustafizur Rahman, he's not an ordinary player. He won the Emerging Talent Player of the Year award when he actually made the debut in 2016, which means that award is only reserved for Indians. He's a special talent. Let's make no mistakes about it. That's why it's very important. If it's a sports discussion, let's get sports people talking about it and not people who just want to, just talk about the political things. Please make a hue and cry about the Mumbai Emirates team that has Shakibul Hasan. What happened to that part? Mustafizur Rahman has played for 5 franchisees. Nobody criticizes them for anything. But right now, if this has happened, this is a private tournament which is run by purely independent body. Government of India has got no relations to it. The owner of the team has got nothing to do with it. We are talking about player to player for someone which you must have clapped, I'm sure, the panelists, when he won the Emerging Player of the Award for Sunrisers. Mind you, 5 years, 5 teams, and he's got over 65 wickets in that. Nobody's ever said about it. Now they're taking it because it's a big thing. But also compare apple to apple and get Shakibul Hasan and do a dharna demonstration for him playing for Mumbai Indians. Why don't you do it, Mr. Panelist? Thank you very much.
All right. Sunil certainly is sounding very different today. But that's interesting. Taos, Rizvi. Taos, would you want to add something to what Sunil is saying?
Yeah, obviously, this is something like it's been talked about. Shakibul Hasan playing for Mumbai Indians and then Mumbai Indians Emirates, and then you're not allowing Shah Rukh Khan's team KKR to have a Mustafizur Rahman. But then at the end, you have succumbed to a pressure to a politician. This was not even government stand. If the government was serious, they could have asked the BCCI not to get into this, not to allow any of the Bangladesh players, or maybe BCCI should have consulted. I think it's BCCI, because this will keep happening. Unfortunately, things are not rosy in the world. A lot of things are happening, whether you talk about Pakistan, Bangladesh, anywhere, and obviously cricket or any sport will be mixed, and this is what we are going to see, unfortunately. And this was not the government stand. This was a MLA somewhere. He was taking some kind of a rally, and then BCCI succumbed to it. Safest way was BCCI should not have allowed any of the Bangladesh players in the auction. But cricket is a smaller world. By the way, cricket is a smaller world. Although Pakistan may not be a great nation producing great results or great players, but definitely they are part of the cricketing ecosystem. Also, they are part of our audiences. IPL, there is talk about IPL broadcast being stopped in Bangladesh and then Pakistan. A lot of people watch. Even Dhurandhar, look at Dhurandhar. It's a major hit in Pakistan. A lot of people are talking about Dhurandhar in Pakistan. Obviously, because they connect to it, also the language that they understand. So you cannot restrict sport or Bollywood or any soft powers to within India. So some way or the other, BCCI will have to be very, very careful, and in future take some stands which will also salvage their pride. Because right now, Bangladesh has taken that stand of manipulating with the powers, manipulating with ICC, BCCI. They have started showing security concern, which was never an issue with India. But right now, they also want to play in Sri Lanka, just like how Pakistan wants to play. So it's, this is embarrassing for the Indian Cricket Board right now. First, you allow, you succumb to a pressure of an MLA, and then you have, of course, I'm not getting into the cricketing part. Obviously, Mustafizur Rahman, it was not KKR, Shah Rukh Khan's fault because he's not involved. Also, Juhi Chawla and her husband is part of the franchise, right? It's not just Shah Rukh Khan. I don't know why Shah Rukh Khan has been targeted alone. Even Juhi Chawla is. So it's all great controversy to talk about, unfortunately, but this could have been avoided by BCCI.
Okay, Shekhar Vijayan. Now, Shekhar, the question is now, how likely is the ICC to accept Bangladesh's request to shift matches to Sri Lanka? And the second part to my question is that if the ICC agrees, what precedent does this set for future global tournaments?
See, Vaishali, I think the ICC fell into the trap of Bangladesh. Bangladesh was waiting for KKR to do what they did, and I think this was a strategy they employed to make sure that now ICC or BCCI is in trouble because of what's happened. cricket is being used as a soft target here. And I believe the ICC or the BCCI needs to have a strong charter. There needs to be a plan in place. If this is going to happen every time a T20 tournament happens, ODI tournament happens, which Bangladesh is surely going to be a part of. You cannot have a situation where they want to end up playing in a neutral country like Sri Lanka. And you don't have many options left now if they don't want to play in India. So I think there needs to be a charter in place. There needs to be a plan in place which BCCI can play along. You're talking about a multi-crore tournament, and a multi-crore tournament is being held to ransom because of what's happened in Bangladesh, which is certainly not correct, which is certainly not right. I think there needs to be the BCCI needs to take ownership for this. They need to put a proper plan in place in terms of how they can avoid this, rather than making soft targets of people like Shah Rukh Khan or even KKR. I think there are too many players involved in this. We are not looking at things from the right perspective. I think what's important here is to focus on having a charter, having a plan, and also make sure that we got to play along, we got to move along, because we're talking about the T20 World Cup, we're talking about different tournaments which will happen in the future. You cannot avoid this. You need to have a plan in place. You need to also ensure that our Hindu brothers and sisters, or not even Hindu brothers and sisters, I'm talking about the minorities, are not bullied anywhere in any part of the world. I think India has to take a firm stand. India has to be a little more assertive here. India cannot just avoid this. The Indian government or even BCCI cannot avoid this and shove this under the carpet, or just delay this for as much as they can. They need to take a stand here because the whole world is watching them. And I think BCCI should be able to do this, because BCCI, we talk about the financial muscle of BCCI, we talk about the reach of BCCI, we talk about the fact that how much they help other associate nations. This is a time for them to prove a point and to put things in place and to set the ball in order. If they don't do this, India will be forever taken for a ride.
All right. I'm going to Dr. Suvro Kamal Datta now. Now, Dr. Datta, let's talk about this particular request. Now, does it signal a deeper diplomatic strain between India and Bangladesh?
I think the diplomatic relationship between India and Bangladesh is already spoiled. It was spoiled the day Sheikh Hasina was overthrown, and she had to flee and she had to come to our country. And since then, whatever Muhammad Yunus and his coterie has done, this is something which is not at all civilized, not at all democratic, and it is extremely barbaric, and it is uncivilized, it is unhuman. The kind of atrocities on the minority community, especially the Hindus, and of course the Buddhists and the Christians also, that is something which is unparalleled and uncalled for. BCCI should have taken a call on this right in the beginning. They should not have allowed the Bangladeshi cricketers to come here and play in this scenario when the atmosphere is so vitiated in our country. They should have done this in the beginning itself. Even as an afterthought, if BCCI has asked in Kolkata Knight Riders to not to allow the Bangladeshi player to come and play here in the Indian soil, what is wrong in it? Yes, I do agree that when the previously when the Bangladeshi player had played for the Mumbai Indians, also a similar call should have been taken into consideration, and it should have been done. BCCI is not a private body; it is an autonomous institution, and definitely it has to function within the parameters of the national viewpoint and the national aspirations and the national terms and condition of our country. When our musicians, our dancers, our artists are not allowed to perform in Dhaka or in Sylhet or in Chittagong or in other places, we have seen what has happened during the time of the New Year celebration itself, and how many Indian artists had to cancel their programs, and they had to, reject the request because of the terrible atmosphere in Bangladesh. When that kind of an atmosphere is there, and Bangladesh considers India to be a number one enemy now, talking about taking away of northeastern part of India and eastern part of India, and talking about a greater Bangladesh, a greater, wider Islamic Bangladesh, where is the reason to show in magnanimity, and where is the reason to give them another chance so that relationship can be repaired? Everything comes under the national paradigm, whether it's cricket, whether it's any kind of sports, whether it's any musical event, whether it's art and culture, anything for that matter, and diplomacy is definitely a part and parcel of it. When we already have such a strained relationship with Bangladesh, and when things are, in such a terrible mess, I don't see any reason as to why we should show in magnanimity and why we should welcome them, welcoming them at the cost of our own national interest is something which is suicidal, and it's something which is detrimental. Yes, some MLAs and some MPs from the ruling party have protested about this, but this is generally more or less a kind of an overall opinion within the present dispensation itself. When minorities are being targeted so brutally in Bangladesh, there is a systematic agenda of ethnic cleansing of the Hindu minority community. I think it is enough. It's enough now, and we should call a spade for a spade, and we should not have that sugar-coated dove diplomacy with Bangladesh anymore. Operation Sindoor was a cursor to our what India can do in relation to Pakistan and how strained our relationship is with Pakistan. Similar is the case in the eastern part of India now. Bangladesh is no different than Pakistan. It is behaving like like former East Pakistan as such, and it is so ungrateful that it has even forgotten the contribution of our Indian soldiers in the liberation movement and in the 1971 war. If India would not have helped Bangladesh, Bangladesh would not even have been born as a country, So when they don't have that kind of a respect for the contribution and the valuable help been given by India for so many decades, decades after decades, then why should we show that kind of a magnanimity? Yes, BCCI did fumble. BCCI is definitely at fault. It should not have invited the Bangladeshi player to come and beat here in India. And even when the Mumbai Indians was, allowing Bangladeshi players to play here in India, BCCI should have taken a call that time itself. And it's not a question of only Shah Rukh Khan. It is, of course, a question of Juhi Chawla also. And it is a question of anyone, X, Y, Z, whether it's Shah Rukh Khan, whether it's Juhi Chawla, whether it's anyone else, whoever takes in a call which is detrimental to the national sentiment, that is the treatment which needs to be meted out to this kind of elements.
Sunil Yashkalra, Dr. Suvrakamal Datta has said many things, raised many concerns. Is there anything that you'd like to say to those?
Of course, I would like to ask him who's the captain of the Bangladesh team. Let me embarrass him here at the national television by asking him, there is a Hindu player called Litin Das who's the skipper of Bangladeshi team. So how can you take a step back when you're and oscillate yourself from one decision to the other? Because remember, you're not only bidding for the 2036 Olympics, you're also putting your hand up and raising your this thing at the 2030 Commonwealth Games. So if you behave like this with your neighbors, certainly who are Commonwealth countries, how will you take it forward? Forget this Hindu, Muslim, Shah Rukh Khan, Ramdas, this time. Keep it away. Keep the discussion away. Keep it to cricket. It's a problem that was raised. It's an autonomous body, but IPL is a private thing. My friend, please understand. There is a bidding and there is cross bidding happening to take a player. There's nothing we can do about it. If they've taken the stance to go away from Indian thing, is a very embarrassing situation. Australia did that in 1996. They did not travel to Sri Lanka and they forfeited their match. So ICC has a strategy where they can forfeit the match, and that's how it is done usually. The points are given to the opponents. You should not get into it. Amazing. ICC has a book. And ICC has people who are in touch with the government officials, BCCI and the other bodies. Believe me, this is just a one or two news blips somewhere here and there. The fact of the matter is there is another discussion which is lined up. How can Bangladesh, you're calling it Islamist? They've already checkmated you by putting a Hindu skipper in the team. How can you deny and defend on that? So let's keep the Hindu-Muslim thing away from cricket at least. And especially we are hosting the World Cup, then we go on to the Commonwealth Games. Then we are going to the 2036. Yes, magnanimity is not one-sided affair, but at the same time, you've got to have sporting diplomacy, which was called in the 80s the ping pong diplomacy. We definitely need a maturity in handling this thing, not only here, but going on from here as we speak. Yes, Shah.
All right. Now, the obvious thing, the debate just got very interesting, Sunil. I'd like to conclude by Dr. Suvrakamal Datta responding to Sunil Yashkalra.
What I'm trying to say out here is very clear. Hell with cricket diplomacy if it is at the cost of national diplomacy. Nothing above the national diplomacy, nothing above nation. His skin might not, boil, or his blood might not boil in seeing the minority communities being burnt, being killed brutally in Bangladesh. He might just treat the minority community, the Buddhas and others, just like as cats and dogs. I'm not so inhuman that I will treat them that way. And in relation to the Hindu minority player in Bangladesh, Nitin Das, about whom he's talking about, we all know what kind of treatment he gets in the Bangladeshi cricket board, and he has expressed his displeasure many a times in the past, like the way the Hindu cricketer from Pakistan has expressed his displeasure, that kind of treatment which he was given in the green room, in the dressing room in the past, So there is no comparison between India, and there is no comparison between a theocratic fundamentalist state or a fundamentalist country like Bangladesh. We cannot equate both in the same coin. India is liberal, India is secular, India is magnanimous, and we have been too good with all our South Asian neighbors in the past. They have taken advantage of our magnanimity. It is high time that we need to teach them a lesson or two. And cricket is definitely there, music is definitely there, art and culture is definitely there, but not at the cost of the national interest. Let us be very clear about this. And, if a decision has been taken, and if BCCI has asked in Kolkata Knight Riders to withdraw the player, BCCI would not have done this without the direction from above. It's quite obvious that there has been a proper thrashing been given from above to BCCI, and that's the reason BCCI has realized its fault, and it has taken a late decision, but a good decision, even if it's at the 11th hour, so that in future this kind of mistakes do not get repeated. And let me make it once again very clear. Everything is fine, everything is okay, friendly relationship is all totally fine if it is a give and take. But if it is only one-sided, and if it is at the cost of the brutalities of the minority in Bangladesh or in Pakistan, and if it is at the cost of the territorial integrity of our country, if it is at the cost of our national integrity, if it is at the cost of our national interest, then there is no compromise on this. Let's be very, very clear on this once for all.
As much as I'd like to come back to you, Sunil, I think we have to conclude now finally. But I want to thank Taos Rizvi, Shekhar Vijay, and Dr. Surya Kumar Datta and Sunil Yashkalra for their valuable time on Newsx. Thank you so much for joining me. And with that, we're slipping into a short commercial break. We'll see you on the other side.